this recording process now that we have the actual shit pulled up. Do you want to actually listen to like the stuff, or you said you just listened to it, so it should be like
I just did, like, at this point, like 10 minutes ago.
okay, like I've been listening to it a couple times over the past like hour or so, and just like when I take it like line by line, I figured that like I have like a lot of stuff, like more than I thought that I would have thinking about it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, big stretch. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too much of like maybe I should wait to say this until we're actually recording, actually.
No, we're recording. No, hit it.
Oh, we're recording? Oh,
yeah.
shit, okay.
I hit the button, and it was just kind of like, fuck it. Okay.
Okay, we'll do it live.
Yeah. I can cut all of this out if necessary. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
That's why editing is cool. Shout outs to myself in the future when I'll be editing this.
Shout outs myself in a few hours.
Hey, more probably tomorrow, because today I'm going to play Baldur's Gate or some shit.
Yo, that game rules.
Have you played it? Do you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I just got it like a couple days ago because all of my friends from my D&D group got it. And they were like, this game is fantastic. You should play it. So I'm like,
it is. It's
okay.
It actually lives up to hype for it, which is incredible.
I played a bit of it. It's fantastic so far. Even just the opening scene is great.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm not used to, like, lyrical analysis, right? Like, all of my, like, word analysis knowledge comes from just like literature, essentially. So that's how I'm probably going to look at things a bit. So it'll be nice to have some ideas from you as well, being resident music man, which I am very much not in general, I think.
I felt similarly, I think, when we were doing the Asterian video. It was just like, I mean, there's words, but like there's way more of them than I'm used to, and it's like hard to sort of get my head around. But when the words are small, when there's not as many of them, it's so much easier, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's small brain, small words, everything's good.
Yeah. That's why you vibe with Asterian so much, man.
Yeah, because it's fucking small. My brain's small, but it's very wrinkly. It's fine. It's like a walnut.
Yeah. That's what's up. But yeah, where do you wanna start, really?
Just started the start. Fuck it. So verse 1 starts with sunrise tearing down the old, right? And like my first note here, already crazy with the setup, is like when I'm picturing it, like with this, like the first bit, I'm imagining like the sun rising like over a city, and like the sort of protagonist just kind of like sitting in like a dark corner somewhere, or just like in an alley, just chilling, just being like, it's dark and I like it here, you know?
Right. And like light starting to like kind of creep in from whatever angle.
Yeah.
Right? Like either through a window or through like a side or like of the alley or something. Yeah. I'm with you there.
That's just like and maybe I just get that upon like repeated listening to it, because like the first time when I listen through something, I just fucking vibe, and then after a few more times I try and like put everything together. But yeah, next line, in a moment's time, all is set in stone. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wet cement, set in stone, title track. Name of the song, good, very good. We're there already.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about the actual like name of the song, like Wet Cement.
Oh yeah,
I have a lot to say about that, just like the imagery of it in general, just like speaking to like the idea that when you're looking at wet cement, right, there's a kind of feeling of you can do whatever to this. Like it's a blank slate that you can just kind of do whatever to. but the lasting ramifications of it afterwards. But you don't really think about that, right? You just kind of want to make your mark on something.
Yeah.
And also, I always just kind of associate that in general with just like a childlike impulsiveness,
Yeah.
right? Of just like wanting to like put your hand into it, just to like leave a
so
lasting
good.
mark somehow.
And I think,
And yeah,
I was gonna say, I remember it's here it is in the post chorus bit. It's like, why would I stop to think it twice? Like, just put your fucking hand in there, dude. Just make a mark. And at least what I thought about like the actual wet cement part of it as it relates to like the rest of the song is, of course, because it's music, one of the questions you always have to ask about a song is like, is this about love? Like, is this a love song? Because most songs are.
In some way, shape, or form, absolutely.
And when I'm looking at this song, I was like, oh, this is a song about, a breakup. Like, this is a relationship ending, and like the protagonist of the song sort of like looking back and seeing like the beginning of it and just being like, oh, I remember this, like this point in time, like right at the start where, we didn't know any better. We didn't know what would happen. Things were new, right? And you can just shape
mark
it.
That you left ends up being permanent in some way. And it's easy to see that now, but at the time, like you were, I mean, again, kind of going back to just like my natural association of it with just like being young, right?
Yeah.
And impulsive. Like, I think that matches up really well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what I was, thinking of it. And especially as it relates to, Wet Cement being the title of the song and, the center of the chorus. Just like, why would I stop to think it twice? Why would I wait for it to dry? It's just like, oh, that's permanent. And like the relationship, even though it's coming apart, like there is still a permanent mark left on, in this case, the ground of like in front of like a bank or something where they put concrete and there's just like some fucking cat has like walked through it and their toe beans are all in the like permanent marks just in front of like a really important building or some shit. But it's the toe beans are a metaphor or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, true. So true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, also, I mean, it's said here in like the set in stone is said a couple times, I think, in the song, or alluded to in some way. Just like that, also kind of attributing to that, like an old phrase, like carved in stone or set in stone. Just like this is definite now. Kind of lends itself well, but it also like kind of modernizes it in a way, that saying of like using the imagery of wet cement.
Yeah, one of the things
it makes it more like now and more like easier to picture, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. The one of the things I really like about like this song and like Gus specifically is that like there's like a few different uses of like that kind of phrasing where it's just like, oh, this reminds me of like some really old sayings, but they're being applied or attributed in like a really modern way. And it's just like fun to see that. And it makes like really, I feel like it makes the lyrics make more sense if you know the, like the stuff that kind of stuff that is being referenced. And then also seeing it in this context. I think it really adds something. I really like that about Gus Dapperton. And I feel like, sometimes like, okay, like when I am sitting down and I'm like writing something, I'm just like, I don't write it specifically to be analyzed. And sometimes like I'll have written something out and then I'll like show it to a friend of mine and then they'll be like, oh, this is what I think this means. And then I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like, with this song specifically, I feel like there are a lot of moments that it could be either way, and I'm sort of curious to see, like, I wonder what it actually is. It's like maybe they did put like all of this time and all of this thought into it, or maybe it just like happened to line up and they're just it came naturally to them. I wonder like what kind of part of the process it is for them. Like if that's,
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole thing. I forget what famous author it was that had this happen during an interview, but like an interviewer asked them just like kind of point blank, just like, is this what you meant by this passage in your book or something like that? And they were just like, yeah, like if that's what you saw, then yeah, like, and they went off on a whole thing about how just like after like a piece of art is made or a book is written, it very largely like the meaning in it belongs to whoever's reading it, right? Like I think it might have been Terry Pratchett with the dwarves in his world, and how people in recent times have been looking at that as like a trans allegory, right? And he was just like, that's what you got out of it, absolutely. Like,
sure, okay,
yeah. If that's the meaning you find in that, yeah, then that's a perfectly valid reading of it. Where it's just like art especially is just like looking at a painting or listening to a song, right? It's just like, it's so cool because you can find the meaning, and that meaning that you find changes depending on, where you come from or how you're looking at it, or even just the mood you're in when you experience that art. Like it completely changes that viewpoint, but the art itself is still the same like static thing, but like looking at it from all kind of different angles, you see different things. And I always think that that's a really cool, like, just concept, right?
Like that. It's odd to think about, like, and talking about this was this section that I highlighted later on in like talking about the quirks of the lyrics when they say 0523 etched in the concrete, and it's like 0523. I think for Gus, I read online, I think was mentioning them. It was like about them going on tour.
I also looked up specifically that line because I was like, that's very specific.
Yeah, it's like that means something, right? And it means something to them, but it doesn't, like, from an audience perspective, that could mean something to you as well. It doesn't have to be about that specific date. It just could be about etching anything into the concrete or thinking about like any date in particular. It's like so what do I have in here? The lyrics from the artist's perspective versus like the inherent meaning of like the shape of the words. Like it, when I'm looking at it and I'm like listening to it, 0523 doesn't really mean anything to me, but it could be a different date, and it could just be like a date, and like referencing that date makes it mean something to me. I think what's interesting is like you talked about like the words themselves being static, and I'm just like, it makes me think about like, are the lyrics inherently a static thing, or are they only, or is the sort of only existence of the meaning of them in our perception of them? Because like technically, the words are always going to be in this order, but I feel like they're never going to mean the same thing to two different people, or 10, or a million, right? So
exactly.
Like, are they actually static, or is like any of the meaning in the inherent way they're put together just drawn from people reading it and then finding out themselves? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Does that make any fucking sense? Or just...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it could just as easily be like someone's anniversary, and it would be extremely meaningful to them to just hear that date randomly in a song, right?
Yeah.
And that would make them like really excited, or it could be like the date that someone like close to them passed, and that would make it like kind of more of a like somber kind of song to them. But the actual line in the song doesn't change at all. It's just the perception of the audience that does, which is it's something that just like in general in art I've always thought is very, very interesting.
Like it could change from being like it's pretty somber, I think, in the inherent tone of it, but like maybe it's a day of celebration for somebody, and like that changes the entire tone of the rest of the song, just by interpreting like one line differently. Here, let's keep reading through. Where were we? Sometimes I like to run the road, though the light moves fast, I still race it home. This one I thought it was interesting, just like that place of home being in that like that sort of like, you know, night
Darkness before the sunrise.
Yeah. And then that leads into the next line, high noon sheds a new physique, which as a singular line, incredible. Just like,
oh yeah,
just putting those words together and like who does that? Who thinks of that? It's so cool. Like,
it's very visceral, right?
Yeah. And this is another one of the things I was talking about, where it's like, when we were talking about set in stone, like that kind of reference. High noon shedding a new physique, like the light is being shed, you know, and the light. How do I word it? It's like, because like sheds could be about the sort of dark place being you know, going away. But like shedding light being a common phrase, you know, it's like the sort of light allegory shining new physique.
It's a dual purpose for the word.
Yeah. And that's interesting. It's sick. It makes my, you know, artist brain gold tingly, you know?
Yeah. Cause it does that, but it also speaks to just like, you know, like shedding your skin to have a new self, right?
Yeah.
Which is, oh man, yeah, it's real cool.
And then the next line, which is like, I think it's the first inkling of this song being about a relationship and being like a breakup song, and like that sort of where I see it is what once was for you, for everyone to see. And that tying into like the sort of like dark setting. It's just like, I love being at home and just like being in, you know, just being like a little rat in a box, just like this is my space, this is my spot. And like when it's night out, I, you know, turn off all the fucking lights in my house and I like open the windows and just like look out and see like the stars and stuff. And that like reminds me of this kind of the first part of the line is what once was for you, is like just this small alone moment that you have to yourself, like looking and seeing all this. And then, you know, sun rises. Now everyone can see everything. And it's like you know, it's not, you're not in that like soul special place that you used to be in.
Yeah. It speaks to like a loss of privacy, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's weird. Like you get your own special little thing, which it feels like you can do at night. And then the light comes and then it feels like, oh, well, now, I don't know, everyone's fucking awake and I'm not the only one here and people are pain and I don't want to be here. Yeah. I don't want to be awake. I don't want to be looking at stuff. I don't want to be perceived. I don't want any of that.
Sure as hell don't want any hoes.
God, bro, the day sucks. I want to stay up at night and I want to play gacha games and I want to fucking watch anime and I want to eat ice cream and I want to be by myself.
Dude, just last night I ate like a whole pint of ice cream by myself.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Oh, it feels so fucking good. I love eating an entire pint of Ben and Jerry's. They released new flavors, dude.
Oh shit, I gotta get on that.
They have a flavor called mousse pie now. It's just like chocolate mousse ice cream. It's so fucking good. God damn it.
God damn.
Ugh. Anyway, we were talking about music or whatever.
Yeah, I suppose.
God, I fucking guess. This part's fun. I knew I should have let it sit and steep, a smooth taste corrupted by the heat. I love this line for a lot of reasons. But I think it's like allusion to tea is like, that's like the first place where my brain went. It's like, I should have let it sit and steep. That's cold brew tea, you know? Because like for cold brew, you have to like let it, you know, sit overnight
Yeah,
in
the
the ice.
natural like motion of water molecules does the steeping as opposed to the heat of when it's hot. It takes
Yeah.
longer.
And the brewing of hot tea is just like, you turn it up to like a bunch of degrees Fahrenheit and then you blast that shit for like a couple minutes and then it's like ready to go. And I just recently, I want to ask you if you know, not sponsored by the way, for the future people who might be listening to this, are you familiar with Adagio teas? I'm
not.
Okay, so you can go online, you can look up adagio.com, and apparently, I got like a set of teas from the wedding that I was in earlier this year, and they got their teas from Adagio. They come in these fancy little tins.
Oh yeah.
And I got some white peach tea, and it's really, really good. And they say you can brew it cold or brew it hot, and I never tried brewing it cold. I don't fucking know why. I brewed it hot, and I put fucking honey in there, and I put maple syrup in there, and that shit was really fucking good.
The man's gone insane.
It's true, but like as a sweetener, maple syrup is just the best. So you put, maple syrup and peach, that goes well. You put honey in there, fucking why not? It all just goes super fucking well together. It's just a bunch of sweet shit, and I like my sweet shit,
yeah. Yeah. No, I typically get teas from, also not sponsored by this, Harney and Sons, and they do a lot with the flavor in the actual tea. So I typically wouldn't use maple syrup, but it is a good sweetener for like, I would use maple syrup in like coffee.
Maple syrup in coffee is also really good.
Like 5 times a year that I have coffee.
Yeah, it doesn't happen especially often, but like I have tea like fairly often, like at least a few times a week.
Every day for me.
Oh, nice. But like I just ran out of my tea that I got from the wedding, and I'm a little sad about it. And I have to, get a nice high-paying job so that I can go on Adagio and then order like $200 worth of tea and never run out again.
That's the motivation in this. I mean, post-capitalist hellscape we live in.
Damn it! I want to be able to support my family. What? No, I want to buy tea, motherfucker. What do you mean?
I'm just an ex-con trying to get my kids back.
Hi, brother. Let me tell you what.
But yeah, I do agree with that though, with the idea of just like, the idea of like iced tea being like more refreshing as well, right? Like it's because I mean it's just straight up says as well smooth, like it's smoother than hot tea. Because I mean often after I brew tea, I have to wait for it to like cool down so I don't burn my mouth.
Yep. So I am not corrupted by the heat, which I am inevitably when I burn my tongue because I have tasted it too early.
Yeah, it's a problem. Will I ever learn? Probably not. But
for sure.
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the analogy of like the coolness and the night just like it keeps building on itself, and I really appreciate how it does that in this part of the line. What's up next? Chorus, I think. What? Why can't I? Oh, there it is. Hold on. Okay, we did it. No, I don't talk nice, talk sweet. I let my heart bleed. And like the first thing I thought about in this part of the line was like, I let my heart bleed is just like, wearing your heart on your sleeve, and like heart bleeding being like brutal honesty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like the I don't talk nice or talk sweet, that I feel like doesn't necessarily mean actually like talking nice, but like to me it reads as like lying to make people feel better. And instead of doing that, I am just brutally honest. I just like, I just fucking let it out because that's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of this chorus I really liked because the individual lines have a lot of just stark contrast in
Yeah.
them, you know, between like the idea of like speaking from your head and speaking from your heart, even, right? Of that kind of contrast in this one. The next one is pretty obvious with like cold and hot.
Yep.
I feel like it also carries to the third, just like of being like it's a lot to ask, like going very big and then like condensing the scope into just like all of me. Like it kind of like tightens the aperture essentially on what we're talking about, and I felt that that was also kind of a contrast.
Yeah, I can see that
in and of itself. Just like, yeah.
Here's one of the things that I thought I would ask you about. How do you feel about rhyming feet, F-E-E-T, with feet, F-E-A-T? The homonym rhyme. I feel that it gives me mixed feelings. Because on one hand, I'm like, okay, they are different words, but on the other hand, like, it's the same word. Like, it sounds the same, so it's not a different rhyme.
That's true.
Which, I don't know why that bothers me so much. It shouldn't.
Be straight up with you, dog. I didn't even notice when I was reading the lyrics or listening to the song earlier. I'll keep it 100 with you. I did not notice that.
Okay, but so it doesn't bother most people. Okay, fantastic. I'm just dumb and I'm looking into it too much. It doesn't bother normal people. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm just fucking crazy. That's what you're telling me.
I'm not gonna internalize this for later.
I won't internalize this. It will be fine.
I'm doing great.
We're so good. Then yeah, we talked about this bit earlier.
Yeah.
Next, this part, which is verse 2, I want to say, sunset ripping through the mold in a moment's time. It's time to let me go. This, like, you know, as far as the setting up from earlier, the protagonist being the mold, night, dark place, it's time to let me go. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like the way that this makes the most sense to me is in the context of like a relationship ending.
I mean, people even say like the sun is setting on this.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's even just like, I wouldn't say a common saying, but like one that I could pull out of my ass on the fly right now.
Yeah, like
just
how,
like, oh yeah, people say that.
Like earlier, language has that. That's a thing that we could apply to this probably.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with the next line too is someone is betting on my soul. The key no longer fits the hole. The first part of this, someone is betting on my soul. I didn't really get a lot out of that. But like the second part of it, the key no longer fits the hole, is like that's another, you know, over time things change. And when you like try and force the key into a hole, it will break, like it will bend. Over time it just won't fucking work anymore. Which reminds me of the time when we first met in person, and my car broke down, which was fun. Like
so true.
A couple of miles from your house as I was driving back. And another fun thing that happened during that, I don't remember if I told you this, but when I was starting the car, my key also broke.
Oh, you didn't mention, but that is doubly whack.
No, that's fucking hilarious though, isn't it? It's just like, oh, my car broke down, and also when I was trying to start it, it has like that oh fuck, I just hit my mic. It has that like electric gadget attached to the key, and so I was turning the key and the gadget just fucking broke. It broke in half, and I was like, oh god.
It's all coming apart.
This is terrible. So like the key itself did actually work, but like the plastic casing on the thing that allows me to unlock my car just tore, and it was just like so my engine starts smoking, and then also my key breaks, and this is within like 20 minutes of each other. And I'm just like, oh motherfucker, who am I? What did I do to deserve this?
I'm such a good person.
I'm so cool and fun and like a great guy. Why did God do this to me?
Why must God send me his hardest battles?
Oh, I am a solitary clown and God sends me his funniest battles.
So true.
Oh, God damn it. So did you get anything out of the first part? The someone is betting on my soul? Because like
Honestly,
I feel like
no. It felt out of place though.
Yeah, it was just like the only other way that I could make that fit in the context of like a relationship is the other person betting on you, and you know, then with the next line them like losing their bet. Or like, because you know, the relationship, like both people are kind of betting on, you know, hoping that it'll work out.
Right.
But like this line in particular was just one that I'm like it sounds good, and I'm just like, I don't know what it means. I'm like, maybe that could mean it, but I feel like it's like the only comparison,
just like devil imagery, I guess, but that didn't really seem to make sense in my head.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just like there's this one line where it's like literally every other line makes perfect sense in some way, and then this line is just like, I feel like I can't figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Like there's probably something to it. I just like can't wrap my head around it. But like, I don't know. This will be a video. Let me know in the comments section if anyone is still watching.
For some
fucking reason. Like what does it mean? I don't understand.
Music. What do you think is the meaning of this song?
What is it? I don't know. But yeah. So then it goes back and then it repeats like the chorus and such.
Yeah.
And then there's the post-chorus. Back when it was wet cement, we were oh so sure of it. Why would I stop to think it twice? Back when it was wet cement, pressed against our fingertips, why would I wait for it to dry? And yeah, just the image that those lines conjure is like very like I can picture it so clearly.
Oh yeah, everyone's seen something in like cement afterwards, like some like handprints or some like writing or some like animal footprints or something. Like everyone, I feel like that's like such a generally like universal experience, like just walking down a sidewalk or something. You've seen something like that. Like that's an image that you can bring to your head immediately, essentially, right?
Yeah. And you know, we talked about it earlier too, but the the theme of it being like the start of a relationship is and it just being like new and fun and exciting, just like fresh cement being poured, and you can just you can do whatever the fuck you want with it, and it's just
you
like
can draw a dick in it if you want.
Yeah, you could draw a fucking penis in there if you wanted to. You can. No one's gonna stop you. Probably, maybe. Well, I mean, there probably are people around for some of the time, but like not all the time. Yeah.
And what are they gonna do? Break it and then reset it because there's a dick in this event? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, if they're only on the job for a certain number of hours, they don't post fucking security, you know, over this. I don't know how long it takes for cement to dry. I'm realizing. Is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've never watched cement dry because I like have a fucking life or whatever.
You know what? I don't fucking need to know. Okay, I'm not a construction worker. I don't need to know how fucking long it takes for cement to dry. Okay, I'm not redoing my patio or my fucking driveway. I don't need to know this information. So don't make fun of me.
Yeah, I don't work for the city. Fuck off.
I'm not like somebody like I don't fucking work for a living. I don't work at all. I'm a piece of shit. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is gonna be the outro.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna put a link for the Spotify and YouTube versions of this song. And
a bop, dude.
What? What? I'm out of it.
The song is good, I'm saying.
Yeah, oh yeah, that it's true. It's a fucking it's a bop. Sorry, I didn't hear that correctly. I don't know why. Yeah, I'll put a link for the Discord in case you want to see some shitty memes or post suggestions about what the next YouTube video should be. And that'll be it. Thanks for listening. Bye bye. Say bye, Egg. Bye.
Bye.